All right, but let's go, Jubilee. Hey, Jubilee, let's go, man. Let's go. Hey, Jubilee, let's go, man. Like, comment, subscribe, real to 1,000. Y'all know what to do. Love y'all. Thank y'all for watching, listening, paying attention to the fam. We back live on Twitch. Links in the description. Y'all know what to do. Do all high schoolers think the same? We're going to find out today.
Seeing an iPad kid, I'm like, wow, what job is he gonna have? He knows more about like, scrolling to the next video than like anything that will help him get a job.
You're indoctrinated heavy, buddy.
High schoolers are kids.
Well, why is it in rainbow, though? Why is it in rainbow? All right, anybody.
3, 2, 1.
What the fuck? Okay, the reason why she disagrees, I'm going to tell you why she disagrees. Because she is probably with college dudes. Straight up. Tell you that right now. Right now. She is absolutely 100%, 99%, 99.9% messing with college dudes. So she feels like, I'm not a kid. I'm so mature. I mean, granted, cool. But come on now. You're still...
I feel like to say high schoolers in general are kids is almost like defeating the people who are in the minority. Like for people like me who have grown up more just mature for my age and I guess fitting more an adult mindset, I feel like I can't say for myself that I'm a kid because I definitely make adult decisions time and time again. I mean, there are people who still have the mindset of kids, but I can't say
Maybe he does. Maybe he does.
I feel like with high school, it's such a broad statement to say.
Look at her posture too. Sassy. She got this the sassy leopard print jants on. Does she have black G-forces on? Okay, anyway. And she got her arms crossed like this. She Miss Badass Michelle.
High schoolers, because there's a giant difference between a freshman and a senior. Like it is, that's why like when they try to date each other, it's like, why is that 18-year-old trying to date the 14-year-old? Like it just doesn't make sense. I feel like it would be naive to ignore the fact that like, especially anyone who's a senior, they're about
She snuck into all the 21 and up clubs.
to be a legal adult.
I think kids need mentoring. That's how I see it. I mean, adults too need mentoring, but I think kids need that extra help. And that
Wait, what was her age? My bad, I was talking. 17.
push. I've seen many kids who have been forced to be older or act older as they are to mature faster. That's why I went for agree.
I want to move.
You want to move? Yeah, go for it.
Okay, I
Talk
didn't
us
know if I
through.
could.
What are you thinking?
Aww.
Well, I agree. I feel like there's just so many decisions, especially in high school, that we have to make that are
She's
not,
awesome.
like, kid-like, and they expect.
Oh, I would love to mess with her in high school. I ain't bullshitting. She would be my nice library buddy. I ain't bullshitting. Ooh, we would be in the library. I'll be touching on them thighs. Hey, I'm just keep it real with y'all, man. I'll be touching on them thighs. You know, walking her to her next class. She walking me to mine. We eating lunch together. She buying me lunch. I ain't buying her lunch, but she buying me lunch. Oh yeah.
Expect us to act a certain way, and also the fact
yeah.
that we're even able to drive. How should we still be considered a kid?
Do you mind if I move?
Huh? Okay, never mind. I'm gonna have to deduct some points from you. The fact that we can drive, how can we still be considered a kid? I'm not even gonna go into that at all. But let me just see if she really said that.
That are not like kid-like, and they expect us to act a certain way, and also like the fact that we're even able to drive. How should we still be considered a kid?
Do you mind if I move? Yeah.
Oh, Lord, here we go. Man,
because I feel like, especially at that 16 to 18 age, you're constantly planning for your future where it's actually difficult to live in your childhood. It's just kind of, you're unable to live
I agree.
as a child.
It'd be like that, I
how
agree.
can you consider yourself one when you're constantly planning?
But that part, stop. You cannot correlate that, G. Because adults do the same thing. And I mean adults. I know people to this day who make that career change, that career switch at 40, 36, 32. With kids, bills, responsibilities. A whole person and multiple different persons is depending on them to provide. It happens. But stop. all you keep it right there, and that's it.
When I was a freshman, all the teachers around me always told me that I needed to prepare for my future. And I feel like, especially coming after online school and quarantine,
They're putting pressure
I'm
on you.
still living in that middle schooler mindset. I'm still basically like a kid living and preparing for my future, which I'm clearly not ready for.
I feel like kid is kind of a weird word. So like it's just kid and adult. And I feel like in high school, I kind of want to be thought of as a kid because it's kind of like, oh, he's a kid, right? It's like an excuse almost. Like you're allowed to mess up. I really look at my classes full of 18-year-olds and say, these are adults. Like, I feel like now it's later and later we're turning into adults. I don't feel like we turn in, I mean, of course there's people that have to pay bills at 16, but to say a high schooler is an adult, I feel like I like to know that I can grow so much more from that. Like, oh, I did that when I was a kid, not, as an adult.
Today's high schoolers have it harder than previous generations.
Today's high schoolers have it harder than the previous generations. Today's high schoolers have it harder? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Have it harder? Disagree.
3, 2, 1, go.
I'm gonna say disagree, not strongly, but disagree. Yeah, disagree right there.
I feel like now, our generation, we have more resources.
Yes.
For help that we need.
Yes. But, and I know somebody's gonna rebuttal that, but with an immense, ambiguous amount of information, like the word, ambiguous perception of information, it can clog the young mind. Because it's like how I talk about all the time with ideas. Yes, you want to be a firefighter as a kid, a doctor, a nurse, a cowboy, a lawyer, everything, a basketball player, a trainer, a coach, a swimmer, be in the Olympics. You want to be all of these different things. But it's like, where do you start? The only way you know how to start. Just start. When I learned that, and I realized that basketball was my real life love, like real life, real deal love. Y'all, I played t-ball, baseball when I got a little older, football, flag and tackle. I did soccer. I played tennis. I swam. I was on the chess team. You name it, I did it. That I had down south. Whatever there was down south, they didn't have rugby, hockey, okay? But I was doing it, okay? And I did it. And then I realized, basketball is really my thing. And I was good at all. I was very, 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 very exceptional at all of them. Basketball was just the one. So all the ideas that we have as kids, young adults, we need to focus on one. So all the information she's talking about, it can get people stuck. It gets 98% of people stuck. Since there is so much information out there and they don't want to get out their comfort zone, where do I begin? And it takes people's decades, sometimes a lifetime, to even figure that out.
Way back then, like mental health, that was like, they would put you straight to camp or like some conversion, stuff like that. But I feel like now there's just more resources. We have the internet, we have the media. Like, would you have wanted to send a pigeon to your friend instead of texting your friend? Like, stuff like that. Like,
I like her.
We just have it easier now.
I feel like it's an in-between thing because I feel like social situations now are much better, but back then they were much worse. I feel like there was racism, teachers could beat their own kids, and I feel like now there's so much things that we cannot do, and I feel like it's for the better.
Can I move?
When I think about the I went to bullying and how much easier it is to get bullied nowadays, especially on social media. Because it's so easy to hide behind a screen, people say worse things. And I think that mental health, maybe it was just as bad back in the day, but because of social media, it's become more prominent and we see it everywhere.
I'm gonna be real. The fact that this millennium, and I'm included in it, even talk about mental health is absolutely wild to me. mental health. Get through it. What? Bro, the suicide rate back in the gap for men, because men, we have the largest suicide rate. But the suicide rate for men was really low decades ago. And I mean really low. Now it's like 46, 45% of men. White, black, Mexican, don't matter. So mental, the fact that we're talking about mental health in 2023 is insane. But hey, that's what so much information is what it does.
Another thing that I also thought about.
It's like information
was,
overload.
I say that we have more resources, but well, you don't have to agree. But I feel that the resources have kind of made us a little less smart. Because we're able to look up that, like, the answers to our test, or like, I don't know, everything's just so much more accessible that I'm not really learning as much as like my mom and dad did.
Well, that's you. She making it personal. If she would generalize a little bit more, I think that she can get people to like agree with her more. But I know what she's saying, and I feel what she's saying too.
So I kind of like sad that all our resources are so much more accessible.
Yeah, I know some dumb, people like, they're like, is it hot outside? And then they'll go to their phone and check the weather. Like, just go outside,
I feel like our
21st
generation,
century shit.
like it is so incredibly easy. Like, especially now that I'm in senior year, I mean, I'm not taking incredibly hard classes, but like, they don't even give you homework because they know you won't do it. Like, it's like, they would
Senioritis.
rather have you pass than like teach you something. And like, the amount of kids
Well, they don't want to teach either.
that held back is like nothing. Like, it's just, oh, keep going ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah.
And so like, seeing like classrooms from like,
Condemn. Didn't you tell me in New York, if you have 2 Fs, you go to summer school. If you have 1, you're good. Is that right? And let me know how y'all summer school curriculum goes. Like if you fail 1 class or fail 2 or 3 or whatever, you gotta go to summer school, whatever. But like, bro, what? You fail 1 class, bro. I'm in summer school and I gotta pay that fee. Crazy.
older generations, it seems like, oh, they're like learning, there's more respect to the teachers. Now, like, there's like such little discipline that every class is just like,
Yep.
oh, fuck.
I feel like just because things are easier does not mean it's better. My friend goes to college in
At
San
all.
Diego, and there's literally a group chat for people in a nursing major just to cheat on the work. And if we're having nurses that don't even know how to like give you medicine, stuff like that, it's scary.
I did want to hit on how the pandemic impacted you guys.
Yeah, I think it did impact our generation. I know personally, I was always so great at talking growing up, and then going into coronavirus, not really like talking to my friends a bunch and like being kind of like antisocial and to myself. Coming out and having to talk to adults was like terrifying. I didn't want to do it at all. I couldn't even talk to like my peers.
When I went
Because the media who gave y'all information overload, who now a couple months said that the mask never prevented anything, but their stock went up immensely. And look, y'all can look up what I'm saying right now. The mask, it's on CDC, everything. They literally said that masks did not and do not protect you from any sickness. It was all a tactic. Monkey see, monkey do. And y'all all warm anyway. And y'all stayed there and y'all took it. Most people. I didn't. I said something about it. If I was putting it on, I was saying something about it. And that was what? 23 years ago. Wow, that's insane. 2.5, 3 years ago. So that's social media making you feel that way.
back to school, I felt like I was still in 8th grade in middle school. So it was very hard for me to adjust. And this was definitely like the biggest change like that affected our
such a scare.
generation, if you think about it. You know, we didn't deal with the bubonic plague or a big, stuff like that. Like this was the biggest impact. And I remember going back to school, I was so anxious. Like I would take half a Xanax, almost every morning because it was so bad.
There was this day where we can finally take off our mask, and it was so weird seeing everyone, but I never knew what to do with my face. It was just crazy.
I feel ready to explore my sexuality.
Uh-oh.
3, 2.
I know what she finna say in the front.
I don't know what that is. What is like dating and stuff?
What does that mean? She said, what does that mean?
I knew I was gay at a very young age. So I've kind of always been ready or kind of always known. Like I was over here at like 6 years old, like looking at a TV screen and there's like a boy and I was like, he's cute. Like, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, because you didn't know any better. The information, I keep saying that, y'all, the information overload has gotten us to think and believe what they want us to think and believe. It is called population control. It is called propaganda. Edward Bernays, a marketing, branding, promoting genius, came out with the book Propaganda. Read it. All they do is change one thing up in marketing strategies. They put a kid there. They make the saying a little sweeter. Just flows off the tongue nicely. They put a boy instead of a girl. They put a girl instead of a boy. She's half naked. Come on, bro. It's all marketing strategy. So he's basically saying that he was born gay. He was born into being gay. Just can't happen. Just can't happen.
I already knew. So like, I feel like it just depends what you determine what exploring your sexuality is. Because at least in my book, I feel like I've already labeled it and I'm already confident and happy with who I am.
Now it's very normal to explore yourself. And I think even just like having sex, it's very, very naive for any adult or anyone to ignore the fact that like people are gonna do that. Like it's or people around you are gonna do that. They're gonna talk about it or you're gonna see it on TV and with the internet. Like we have access to everything these days. No one is judged like for waiting or wanting to try stuff as long as everyone's being safe. As long as it's consensual, as long as you're okay.
She said nobody's being judged. Yeah, she right. Not as bad. Yep, she right. Yep.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I also grew up in a very private Christian school. It was very like, it was like a bubble, you know, and you know, we didn't talk about all that stuff, but now I attend a high school where we actually have wellness classes. Also, social media helps. Those random accounts on my For You page, they're like, how to kiss a boy or something like that. I don't even know.
What is it, WikiHow?
WikiHow, sure. Like, there's just so many courses, you know, that's why you gotta seek them out and find a support system.
It's kind of like for our whole generation happening earlier and earlier, like where we get introduced to it with like the internet and stuff. I kind of like it to be delayed. I kind of like to be a kid for as long as I can.
But
he need to make beats if he doesn't already. He need to make beats. I like this guy. He need to make beats. He need to do something. A social media web designer or something. He need to. Hey, I like him, bro.
I feel like,
I like
people
him.
don't take you seriously if you.
Charlotte Thunder, what up, man?
You know, act younger and like want to be younger.
In the sense of like this question, like sexuality, like I feel like I'd rather, because right now it's like most of the pressure is just like, oh, I feel like I'm so behind because I haven't done this, this, and this yet, when it should be so normal.
It's important that we do educate ourselves on these topics because once we're older, if we aren't, that could take a turn for the worse.
Just taking a quick
I feel like
break from
approaching it
Twitch
naturally.
Twitch gone wild, huh, bro?
Professional way.
Yeah, I'm
like,
gonna need to
in
see
terms
that
of
right there.
school, if they're providing like health classes, I think that's just the best.
Glad
way
you've
to
been
go
good,
about it.
fam.
And I completely agree with you. Like I was also exposed to nasty on the internet, and like no one wants to go through that.
I don't think that the school should do it because I think it's really weird. You know, I can never stop laughing personally. Like when I'm in a sixth grader and they say the word scrotum, how are you not supposed to like laugh?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's more of a personal endeavor.
Hey, I like him, bro. I like him.
Not everyone's as smart as me, but I feel like personally, I'd just like to find that out on my own and maybe be encouraged by the school. But I don't like the classroom. Let's learn about sex, all sitting together as a bunch of teenagers. Like that's awful. That's like the worst thing ever.
I feel safe.
I agree, G. I agree.
3,
You feel safe at
2,
school?
1, go.
Who feels safe at school? Wow. Well, what schools they go to?
My campus security
Sheesh.
are amazing. They have a personal relationship with all the students.
Their
I've had
ages
volunteers at my
are. I think the black girls is the oldest in age, and they're like from 15 to 18.
school.
High
I've
schoolers.
had like shootings literally walking distance down the street where the school had to go on lockdown. It's unfortunate, but also
She said strongly
It just
disagree.
makes me really aware. Like for every classroom, I have what's my hide plan? Who are my people? I don't feel comfortable putting my phone in the phone chart because if something happens, I want to text my family. And that's why COVID like lifted a lot of weight off my shoulders because I didn't have to worry about that all the time. Also, like a lot of people at my school who have mental health struggles, I'm always afraid that like someone won't be properly treated for that and then they'll just snap one day, you know?
My school has had multiple sexual assault scandals. Like my history teacher right now, my world history teacher, if it weren't for the current sub, it would be with basically a pedophile. So it's
wow.
Scary. And when she mentioned like the bomb, I remember last year someone created an account with our school name and it was like shooting or something on this day and our school ended up canceling school for that day and it was horrible.
I feel so fortunate to have grown up in a really privileged area where there's not a lot of violence. However, I feel like
You said my school had a lot of threats over the years, really, and that's why you're at home, right, Perk?
be ignorant to say that a school shooting would never happen because all it takes is one kid out of the 2,500 students that I have to take a gun to school and shoot people. And I feel like there's so many different openings on my campus where that could happen.
Ooh, man. Yeah. You guys know I went to, throughout my middle school and high school years, I went to all like private Catholic schools. I went to really nice schools. And then when I experienced that, not being unsafe, but when I was in 8th grade, I got asked to leave the middle school I was in, going into high school, for 9th grade, and then I had to find a school for the second semester so I can, have some resume on where I was to go to pick a high school for 9th grade, right? So it was an all-black private Catholic school. But with that private Catholic label, trust me, it's only a label. Bro, they was fighting the teachers in class. They was fighting in class. And we had uniforms. Every school I went to had uniforms, y'all. So keep that in mind. And they were fighting the teachers in class. At lunch, they was fighting, breaking the lunch tables. Y'all know them prison lunch tables with the little stools on the end. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Bro. Yeah, Chocolate Thunder for real, bro. And it was bad. It was the worst time of my life. Schooling-wise, it was the worst time. I mean that. It was the worst time of my life. And then when I went to 9th grade, I went to another private co-ed Catholic school. This was my first ever co-ed school. And trust me when I tell you, it was not private at all. It was a private public school, as I call it, but I loved it. It wasn't too crazy. Of course, there were, there was those scenarios when dudes got expelled for getting their dick sucked in the bathroom after school, kissing in the hallways, after school. But there were cameras everywhere. It was pretty monitored heavily, right? We had security every on and off every now and again, but it just does something to me to really know that there are young kids feeling this way about going to school and people at school to bring a gun, bring a knife, and really do something like that, bro. Because, man, and I talk to everybody in school, and I mean everybody. Because I made sure, I breached everybody. I did like a screening. I talked to everybody, Mexicans, cheerleaders, white girls, white boys, Mexicans, Asians, Caucasian. I talked to all of them. Janitors, lunch, I talked to all of them just to, shape them out, just to feel them out. You feel what I'm saying? So this is, them feeling unsafe in school. Wow. You said my sister's ex-boyfriend who went to the same school told me that there was a kid who threatened to shoot up prom or whatever. Then he never saw the kid again. Wow. You said it's my first religious private schools has the freakiest of the freaks. Did they? And look, they was wearing skirts. You know what that mean? Them girls in skirts get to work.
Happen.
We have gates but it honestly looks like a prison.
Okay, yeah, that's me
I
too.
won't lie. We have security guards. They're not armed, which was a conversation that came up. Should our security guards be armed? And another conversation came up. Should our
Ours were
security
armed.
be armed? You know, there's just topics like that. I remember one.
Ours
This was
were
actually
armed.
recently. One of the old students at the college threatened to shoot up the whole school, and so
Oh,
even we had to
goodness.
go remote. So it's just like
Goodness
never feel
gracious.
safe.
And a dude could just be talking, bro. Just want that attention. Don't even know how to shoot a gun. Don't even own a gun. Don't even have a dad around, an uncle, grandpa, nobody around who's a man. Just they aunt or they grandma or they mama. And they just want some attention. And they will say something like that. And then everybody gets shut down. You know, everybody gets scrutinized for that. That's,
My
oh.
social media presence is important to me. 3,
Uh-oh.
2,
I want to see this. Nope. Ah, my dog.
Like maybe just my story, you know, but like I'm not like constantly posting. And if you do, that's perfectly fine. Like that's a lot of people's outlets, and especially creativity.
I don't own a single social media, and like not as like a flex. I'm just saying like I hate the presence of an app in my mind. Like, oh, you should do this. Like it's an app on my phone. Like I don't want to give it any part of.
Shout out my
life,
dog,
I'd
man.
just rather not have it.
Dude, if you had Twitch, I'd say, hey, come in the stream, bro. We need to join. Hey, make a Discord. Hey, salute to you, bro. You would be awesome for a podcast, man. Just, hey, I like him, y'all. I like him.
I think sometimes with social media nowadays, it also can fall into a career, which is really weird, but that's like what I do. It's like, oh, I can't post that picture of me like flipping off the camera with my friends because like a college or a future boss, because your digital footprint is so real. But I also like, I
Facts.
love having social media. Like I've had it for years. I've always like tried to ground myself and realize that it's just for fun. It's not that serious.
I wouldn't have met you guys without social media. Give me some. Boom.
There are some people who I know who have like shown or done.
But you got to
something
use it in the right way.
and it's spread everywhere. Like there's some things I do not need to know, and people just tell me. Like on Instagram, there's like close friends, and there's like normal story, and I post on close friends so much more than I do on my normal story.
Or like a spam account.
yeah,
I post on my spam account like
Yeah.
way more.
A couple years ago, I would have been right there, like on the strongly agree. You know, like, because when I moved to the new school, a lot of people were like, oh, how many followers do you have? If you had over 1,000, it's like, yo, you got clout. Like, you're good. Digital footprint, that is no joke. Like, everything you post will come back at you. I'm so glad Instagram took off that feature where you could see what other people liked. Do y'all remember that? That was ridiculous.
That's why I'm very aware of what
That's okay. They put it on Twitter.
I post. I make sure this is what I want everyone to see.
And yet when
me
you're,
as.
I'm so sorry. When you're a kid, like you want social media, like when you first find out about it, like when I was 9 years old, I was like begging my mom to let me have Instagram. And now like I'm
Yeah.
even embarrassed of like the little like selfies I would post because like they're so stupid. So, like looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, I would totally never let like my 7-year-old on social media.
That's what comes to my mind whenever I look at me.
But I actually did have social media very young.
Yeah, me too.
I got Twitter when I was 6. My
Whoa.
mom made it and managed it,
Yeah.
but I would still like, I would tweet about like my little kindergarten like crushes.
You like having your
What
mom
the?
like to like guide like the account. I feel like I didn't have that, unfortunately. So I feel like it just depends. Like your digital footprint could be much more harmful like when you don't have parents that know how to handle social media or know how to prevent it. Because my parents, they've never used social media. They don't have a single account. So
Oh, wow.
growing up like begging, I don't think they knew the harmfulness of it. And I don't blame them for that at all. But I feel like that's what led to me being exposed to a lot of stuff. So I feel like definitely with the new generation, and if I don't know if I'll have kids, but if I do, they're not on social media, at least for me.
When those
Oh, wow.
iPad kids,
Okay.
I mean, those kids who use iPads, it's
My
so
sister's an iPad kid.
addicting. It's so addicting, and you need parental controls because social media is crazy.
I like my dog
having
right
your
over there,
parents running the
man.
account, regardless, it's just so
That's so important. Or even having influencers like
He has
Andrew
depth,
Tate who
bro.
are like influencing these
I like
like,
individuals with
little
depth.
like
Little-
boys to
yeah.
think that that mentality is like normal.
Yeah.
I feel like social media has drastically altered my personality, especially during COVID. And I feel like if it could change me that much, just imagine a 6-year-old having access to a phone for their basically entire childhood. But like
It's
honestly, I
tough.
got so sensitive to being in front of camera that I feel like I kind of forgot about digital footprint and stuff like that.
I have hope for the future. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey, my dog Ryder's a beast.
I don't know, man. Seeing an iPad kid, I'm like, wow, what job is he gonna have? You know, I mean, he knows more about like scrolling to the next video than like anything that like will help him get a job. I don't know. I don't feel like I have very much hope for our and the next generations, as like I feel we keep getting like the younger generations kept getting like profited on and like abused almost.
You right.
With this question, I kind of thought about like social justice and like the issues that we're experiencing right now. Like there can be a change. And I just really don't think that people back in the day were seeing that type of change. Everything was just thrown kind of under the rug, not really spoken about.
I know that she has never looked into any culture other than what social studies has put in front of her. She knows nothing about Black Panthers. She knows nothing about the Moors, the indigenous people. She knows nothing about that. Of course, she knows Rosa Parks. She know who Rosa Parks is. Martin Luther King. Maybe Malcolm X. She the only black one out there too. God. Damn, Talk of Thunder.
I still love to dream like, oh, I would love to achieve this one day, but even if I don't have that financial capability, I still have hope. I hope I could get there.
Man. Hey, my boy said, do you think she knows about the 3 out of 5 compromise? Not a fucking shot. All she know, and I'm gonna just be real. Don't take it offensive, girl, if you're watching this. All right, don't take it offensive. You know your Starbucks drink by hand. Okay, I'm gonna with extra mocha with the extra frappe, and then with the sprinkles on top, and then the little sprinkles, and then whipped cream. Thank you. She know all her orders from Starbucks, and she couldn't name me 4 Freedom Riders, and not the movie. Real Freedom Riders. She could name me well, I couldn't, but 3 Black Panthers. No, I probably could. But come on now. She knows the color of her prom dress this year. I tell you that. She knows that for sure. Chocolate Thunder. She does.
One day, and I still try to remain positive.
Everyone's goal at the end of the day is just to be happy in what they're doing and make a difference in either your own or someone's life. And I think like just by having this discussion, like there's so much hope for everyone in here to go on and be successful in that, no matter what it is. So I have a lot of hope for the future, and I'm really excited, even though I'm nervous and I'm anxious about a lot of it. I'm really excited to see, like, in my personal life, like, what that means for me. Because I know I'm never gonna stop until I'm happy with what I'm doing.
So have you thought about Twitch and maybe wearing a bikini? Something called O to the F? You know, getting a hot tub, getting the PC, getting the camera, getting a monitor or 2. Because I don't judge you guys, but I definitely stereotype. She too young? Shit. That's what I'm saying is in her future. That's what I'm saying is in her future. Or she looks like she's good with numbers. One of those two things. I'm just being real. I'm just being so authentic with y'all. Genuinely surprised they taught us about the 3 out of 5 compromise because they don't teach us shit about things like that. Facts.
I mean, I feel really grateful for our generation because a lot of us are very open-minded to having these types of conversations, whether or not it relates to us or exists in our nature. But I feel like people are so open to change now, and I feel like that's just great moving forward. And I feel like a lot of us Gen Z people have gone through such traumatic and bad experiences that we're gonna become amazing parents one day.
Like, I think I remember, like, during quarantine, there was, like, a sign in New York that said
I like
we
his
have,
answer.
like, this many years left and before our world, like, ends or something. And my sister is an iPad kid, and I've seen how she is. And it's like, I want to say I have
It's
hope for the
disheartening.
future, but just based off what I'm seeing, it feels like there's no change, kind of.
Because y'all too busy talking about change instead of changing, goofies. And this is coming from somebody who has dramatically changed his life. Dramatically. And the only person that I see doing that throughout this video is my dog right behind me. My dog Ryder. Hands in his pockets, just listening to people talk. That's what he's doing. He just listens to them talk. Because he knows 99% of them are not going to do shit. They're not going to do shit. The blondie, Maya, okay, she cool, she all right. But she's right about saying she has faith and hope that we will all be successful. Why? Because successful and being successful should be, and basically, literally, with the fundamentals, it is by definition of your own. What you deem as success. If you have gotten an apartment, if you have gotten a house, you could be renting that for the rest of your life. If you have gotten a house and moved out of your mama's house, that could be one of your lifelong accomplishments, bro. And guess what? At 23, 25, 30, you did it. You did it. Success should only be by definition of your own, not by society. I wanna feel like I am reaching that level of success because I get a Rolls Royce. I get a Trackhawk. I get a Hellcat. I get a bust down. I throw the best house party in Louisiana. Who cares? Who cares, bro? Who cares? Success is only by definition of your own. And the man who I see actually doing something is this dude right here. This dude right here.
Sure, but just based off what I'm seeing, it feels like there's no change, kind of.
Y'all too busy talking. Y'all too busy talking. Jubilee, shout out to you in this video.